Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business and sell more with less effort thanks to the Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/redcircle, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/redcircle now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/redcircle.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odom. I'm your host, J.O. Oh, this is it. Any first-time listener is going, is the entire podcast this fucker just laughing? No, sometimes it gets serious. But here's the deal. You're scrolling, right? As one does. And sometimes you get one that's so funny, you can't control yourself. I don't know what country this is, but they had this TV show and they invited people with unusual laughs to sit together, and oh my God, I'm dying right now. Here's a clip.
ידעתי, לא עכשיו, שנייה. זה אמיתי רבותיי, זה הצחוק של האיש. לא, שנייה.
Oh, it hurts. Oh my God. I love a good snort laugh. You gotta find humor in life somewhere, especially right now, right? We just had the most important election of our lives. The most important election of our lives just completed, and I'm on the record as saying now there is only one person who truly is going to come out of the results of this election ahead and built for life for some time now. And that fella's name is Frank Caliendo, comedian. He does Trump impressions. I mean, you've seen Frank, right? He's been a staple on NFL pregame shows on Fox and ESPN for years. This guy is hilarious. I had the opportunity to not only go see him this summer live, I had the opportunity to spend many, many, many hours in a car with him one-on-one. And I have an episode in the archives creatively titled Frank Caliendo. I'm gonna air that portion of the show because, a lot of new listeners, if you haven't gone back and listened to it, I'm gonna air that portion of the episode, of that former episode, for you here today. But that guy won. I mean, he I posted on my story on Instagram that he was the big winner, and he liked it, and then he shared it on his story just laughing because he's laughing all the way to the bank. I mean, the longer any one of his characters and like gold impressions are alive and kicking and relevant, I mean, he's ultra relevant. So and he's funny as hell. Despite that, and can you imagine? I mean, I was sitting here thinking, I'm like Frank Caliendo, and then I'm scrolling, and these fools are laughing like hysterically, and I'm like, he would have a heyday if they were in the front row, just. I mean, listen to these fools. If they were there front row for him for his live show.
עכשיו, שנייה. זה אמיתי, רבותיי, זה הצחוק של האיש. לא, שנייה.
If you're a listener of the show and you've got to laugh like that, and I don't need no fake shit. I don't want anybody making stuff up. If you actually laugh like this, or somebody has said, "Oh, you have a funny laugh," like, hit me up. We're gonna discuss. Like, I want to make it a challenge. We can make something out of this. We can make something out of this. Anyways, here's my story. I spent a day with stand-up comedian, worldwide phenomenon, Frank Caliendo this summer, and here's the story. Laugh with me.
Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business and sell more with less effort thanks to the Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/redcircle, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/redcircle now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/redcircle.
Get everything for your next project today at Menards and save big money. We carry everything to help you breathe easier. Allergen air filters help prevent seasonal allergy symptoms and improve your indoor air quality by capturing microparticles while allowing maximum airflow. Save big on allergen air filters when you shop at Menards. View the weekly flyer and all of our great deals happening this week on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. Everybody needs some variety in life. That's what I love about Chumba Casino. They know how to keep things fresh and exciting. All their games are free to play, like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire. You can claim free daily login bonuses, too. And they release new games every week. So spice things up with ChumbaCasino.com now for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Yeah, so one of my friends, Andy Clausen, the host of WTL, the sports podcast that I guest on from time to time, he calls me up, right? He's like, I got something for you. Yeah, he's got something for me, all right. Fella needs a favor. That's what he needs. We had the Great American Comedy Festival in Norfolk, Nebraska this past Thursday through Saturday. Fantastic event put on there in Norfolk. They've got the Johnny Carson Theater, which is beautiful, beautiful theater. It's worth looking up and seeing some of the headliners they've had in the past. It's just comedy royalty has gone through that theater and performed in this festival. And this year, they need a favor from old J.O. To make sure that the festival goes off without a hitch. And to say I started the week thinking that was something that was going to happen, I tell you no. No, I did not. Not only was I not featured to perform at all, it still wasn't. I didn't perform. Let's just get that out of the way. But I had no role in it. I didn't know anybody personally that was involved with it. What I ended up doing was doing Andy a solid. His friend, who is the president of the festival, needed him to pick up the headliner from Saturday's big show from his hotel in Omaha on Saturday, and then drive him to Norfolk, stay for the show, and then, drive him back, drop him off at the hotel, and There you go. There's your Saturday. Sounds easy peasy, right? Well, Andy had prior obligations, so he's like, I might know a guy, and that's what he called me. And he's like, hey, here's an opportunity for him. Well, okay, opportunity. Let's hear it. I'm gonna pick up the headliner, and I'm going to drive this person. I'm gonna make sure they get there and get there on time, and then immediately as the show ends, be ready to drive him back. I'm like, okay. After I went on a walk, actually. I went on a walk with Ashley, my wife. We walked around a couple blocks, approximately a mile to be exact. And we talked about it. And in the end, I was like, you know what? I'm going to help old Andy out. And I'll do it. He seemed very surprised. So this was something that I don't think he expected I was going to do. And really, don't think that because I'm not a nice guy. That's not where this is going. I am. I do favors for people all the time. So that is not why he was surprised. I think he was surprised because it turns out this is going to be a good chunk of your Saturday. And it's literally for a favor. This isn't like just, can you give me a ride to the airport? And it's a half hour, 40, maybe an hour of your day type situation. It wasn't one of those. It wasn't, can you help me move this couch from house to house? No. It wasn't quite that. But that's okay. And I'll tell you why. I had the opportunity to spend 4 hours in a vehicle with Mr. Frank Caliendo. And Frank, he's a master impressionist. He's been doing this for well over 20 years, probably 30 years. You know him as John Madden. You know him as John Gruden. Morgan Freeman. He does a lot of the presidents of the United States, but the last 4 presidents for sure. He does incredibly well. They're a big part of his act. He's hilarious. You've seen him as the comedy expert and on the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show, the ESPN pregame show on Sundays. I mean, you've seen him all over the place. He was on Mad TV back in the day when that was on Fox. He's had his own couple comedy specials, and he's been in various movies and TV shows throughout. But man, the guy he's had a stronghold on impressions on John Madden and some of these other folks for a long time. Charles Barkley. I mean, he's performed for Charles Barkley doing his impression. I mean, hilarious guy. He's the headliner in Norfolk for the Great American Comedy Festival, and they need J.O. to pick him up. So I'm like, all right, that sounds cool. I'm a fan of Frank's. He seems like he's a nice guy. I was like, I would enjoy, spending some time with Frank and just kind of seeing what's up there. And I get to check out the show, right? So I figure, why not? So that's how it goes down. But one of the things that I had to have, what I was told I had to have in the vehicle was, some beverages. I had to have Diet Dr. Pepper and water. So that's great. I can have that. I got a cooler ready. Boom. The boss has everything he needs if he's parched ahead of the show or even after the show. I don't mess around, okay? You need a favor from me. I'm going to have a cooler. It's going to have ice. The drinks are going to be cold. In fact, I chilled them the night before. So even before they went in the cooler with the ice, they were cold. So, yeah. It's not my first rodeo, guys. Okay? So, and then I had to be at the hotel by 4:30 to make sure he's on the road because we had to get to Norfolk. We had to get there. It's a 2-hour drive. The show starts at 7, so that means I'm there right before the show starts. Not ideal, but that's what we had set up for us, okay? This is what I'm working with. So I'm in contact with his road manager a few times. It was funny. He I don't know if he just thought I couldn't handle the gig or what, but he called me like 2 o'clock. He's like, "You on the road?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not on the road. I live in Omaha. This is like a 15-minute job. I mean, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit. There's traffic. The College World Series is in town, right? So, and I have to go right through that mess in order to get them. But the 4:30 time frame actually works out perfect because there's not going to be any games starting or ending during that time. So perfect. Like I'm going to be able to zip right through and get the boss. So I'm like, I got this. He kind of quizzed me a little bit. I answered him with flying colors. Therefore, he didn't need to check up on me anymore. He knew that. I could tell that he knew that I was on the job. So then I roll up at 4:15. You know, I wanted to be early. I wanted to be prompt. And you know what? How embarrassing it would be if I showed up late. So even if it is just a favor. So I roll up, let him know I'm there, text Frank, hey, I'm here. He says, all right, I'll be down in a bit. So I'm hanging out down there. And I'm like, well, I want to try to move. You know, I'm in a van. So the middle seats, they're the captain's seats. So I was like, well, I'm going to try to move them back as far as I can. That way, if he sits there, he's got some space, you know, get some leg room going. So I go to, like, try to move the seats back. I'm not familiar with the seats. So I hit a lever that I think is going to shift it back. Instead, the entire backside of the chair rockets at my face. Boom. Knocks my glasses off and knocks me back. I had I'm shocked I don't have a black eye in my right eye. I mean, it hit me hard. My glasses go flying in the van. I'm hit back. I'm stumbling. It's a good thing I got there early. This would be embarrassing if I'm stumbling around as he walks up. Get my glasses. Turns out that's not the lever for the chair. Fix the chair. I decide I'm going to leave the chairs. There's plenty of leg room for him. Guys, he'll be fine. So then I open the side door, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm not like a limo driver by any means, and this is not a limo, but I'm going to go stand over there and wait for him. And then, you know, if it's ready, you know, we can get in the van and go. He comes out. He's like, Frank. And I'm like, yeah, hey, Frank. He calls shotgun. Fellow wants shotgun, which is fantastic because I thought I was going to be looking in the rearview mirror the whole time if we were going to converse at all. So I was like, well, this is great. Now it's just like rolling shotgun. You know, I'm on the road with Frank Caliendo basically now, okay? The only thing's missing is me performing as well during the show. So, and at this point, he's calling shotgun. I'm like, hey, you know, who knows? Maybe I'll end up on the show. So then I close that side door. He pops in the shotgun. I hop in. We're ready to roll. You know, we're driving through the area of downtown Omaha where the College World Series is going on, so we're just kind of chit-chat about that. But it's also near where Creighton University is located. And the Shy Health Center, which is home of the Creighton Blue Jays for basketball, he's a big Creighton fan. Turns out he's been in town going to games and has tried to post up on Ryan Kalkbrenner, our star center. So that was cool. So we're talking ball for quite a while as we're getting out of Omaha. And then we're rolling up. We were heading on Dodge, heading west, and you know, we're driving past Shields, and he's like, "Is Shields a big deal here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Shields is a monster here." And it turns out where he's from, they just got a Shields. I'm like, "Well, that's pretty awesome." I was like, "We have a Ferris wheel, you know, inside of ours." Well, he has a Ferris wheel too, so it's not necessarily super unique for us, but it is cool. So there's a Ferris. I was actually funny because the one at Des Moines only has like a big tree and like a airplane, you know, hanging from the ceiling. And he goes, "Well, it is Des Moines." So fair enough, Frank. Fair enough. But no, super nice guy. I'm not gonna go into detail all the stuff we talked about because, you know, it was just fun to chat with him. Super nice guy, family man. You know, we were hitting the road. I mean, what you guys talk about when they're on the road? But 2-hour drive to Norfolk. Actually, it was a pretty smooth drive until we got about 20 minutes out of Norfolk. That's when the clouds rolled in. It started to get really dark, and that the organizer of the festival calls me, and he goes, "Hey, just so you know, we are in a tornado warning in Norfolk right now. Where are you at?" I'm like, "Well, I'm 20 minutes out." And he's like, "Well, just be careful. You should miss it. It should roll through before you get here, but just be careful. And just so you know, since we do have the tornado warning, we're delaying the show about 30 minutes." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense. That's safety first, right?" So I hang up. Frank's like, what? I'm like, well, I tell him about the weather. You can tell he hasn't been involved in many tornado situations in a long time, if he has. So, he's got his hand up on the oh shit handle at the top of the door, and his legs bouncing. But we're driving through. It actually is not that bad. You can see the clouds real low, real dark, real ominous, but nothing's twirling. That's great. Then the downpour hits. It was a little dicey there for a while. I get another phone call from the organizer, and he goes, "Hey, just so you know, it's really bad. You are gonna drive through this. Just be careful. If you got to pull over, let me know. But just be safe. There is a touchdown, and just be safe." So I'm driving through. Not only is it one of those downpours that you get when you're going through severe weather, but it's a flash flood for sure. I mean, the water was so freaking high. So we had to kind of, obviously we went slow through that, but we also had to kind of do one of those things where you kind of drive around the water a little bit because it's in pretty deep. But we do end up making it to the theater. I get them dropped off, and then I go, and I had a nice little peanut butter and jelly sandwich to eat, and a meat stick, and I had a little treat with me, a little dinner. That was nice. Ashley made that for me. That was great. Shout out, Ashley. Thank you. It was so good. I just kind of sat there and I was like, I should go fuel up for gas before the show. So went and did that. I'm going through this is the day-to-days. We're on the road, okay? When you're on the road, things like this happen. You kind of got to talk it through. So we get there. I go in a theater. There's a ticket for me so I can watch the show. I go in. I'm in the front row. I had no idea. He set me up in the front row, right to stage right. It was incredible, and there was 4 features that took the stage from a couple from Chicago, one's from L.A. It was just a great show. And then Frank comes up, and Frank just kills. He immediately, and we're in Norfolk, Nebraska, right? You can imagine what if you were going to do any type of politics humor, you can probably guess which way they sway. Okay, I don't care which way you go. All right, on this topic, I'm not going to that. That's not today's episode, but you could obviously tell which way this audience primarily goes. So he comes up and he starts making fun immediately of Donald Trump, and that's one of his great impressions. It's good stuff. And you can just feel the tension. He stops him. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna make fun of everybody." And then he, pulls out a Joe Biden joke, and then everyone loves it, and everything's great again. But oh man, you could feel the tension a little bit as he busted out the first impression of President Trump. But so then he goes through his act, and it's hilarious. He's nonstop bouncing from impression to impression, and then he's got little tidbits and stories that he's thrown in here and there. And then in the middle of the act, he's doing. I'm not gonna give away his bits, but he ends up coming down, walking off the stage as he's lost. I think you can guess which president he's impersonating there, and then he comes up to the front row, and then he ends up sitting right next to me. Which, little side note. A picture of that ended up on the front page of the Norfolk newspaper. So I end up in the act anyways? Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like I did. But he's there. It was a great time. Awesome set. Frank Caliendo, if you ever get a chance to see him, it's just laughter from beginning to end. And I'd imagine, at this point, this guy's got it down. He's doing this set, and he's doing, a variation of this set from city to city to city to city for the last however many years and for the next however many years, and it works, right? It's just always got to work because you can just adapt the headline or whatever to the impression, and it works. And no, it was awesome, and it was funny because we're driving there. He's just so. I don't know. He's just so even keel, very mellow, very just real quiet. And then, as soon as the lights come on, he is just eyes wide open, just ready to go. you can, stories people have said about like Robin Williams. He's just very quiet, very, that was my impression of Robin. And then when he got on stage, he's a mile a minute running wild like crazy. Man, that was kind of like Frank a little bit, which was pretty cool to see. But great show. I knew exactly, and I wasn't even told what time I needed to get my ass up out of the seat and go. But I just had this feeling when that would be the right time. So there was a point in the show, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes, probably an hour into it. He calls out everybody who performed ahead of him. I'm like, you know what? This is probably close to the end of the show. I'm going to go ahead and get up. So I quietly exit, go out, walk around the theater, get in the van, pull it out back. Sure enough, a minute later, he comes strolling out. So, you know what? Credit to JL for just kind of having the intuition to know when it was time to go so that the talent didn't have to wait. So, yeah, just saying, credit to me, really. And then we jetted out of there. I mean, the rains and all the storm and all that was done. We didn't have any issues with that. The route home was in a complete flash flood warning. We did not see any of that anymore. It kind of washed away, so that was cool. Drive back, pretty quiet. We're just, just a couple of guys listening to tunes, chatting about sports, chatting about our kids or whatever. And he was dealing with a big-ass spider, like the size of his hand, back home. So the family was trying to kill that. That was interesting. And honestly, I wouldn't want a big-ass spider running around my house either. I think I've told the story on the show before about my deal with the spiders. And, yeah, I would certainly be calling someone over to kill the spider as well. But as we're pulling into his hotel, he's like, you know what? We made it. Didn't think we were going to get there. And I like to think it was because of the weather. It did get dicey. It had nothing to do with my driving because I was a hell of a driver. And, point of the matter is, when you need someone, when you need a favor, when you need someone to take care of top talent for your city, for your town, you know who to call. You call J.O.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language? Maybe you were inspired by a recent international trip, became obsessed with a foreign film or TV show, wanted to communicate better with a loved one, or just felt like developing a new skill. With Rosetta Stone, learning a new language is easier than you thought. Rosetta Stone has been a trusted expert for 30 years with millions of users and 25 languages offered, including Spanish, French, Japanese, Dutch, and more. Learning is immersive and designed for long-term retention, so you fully learn to speak, listen, and even think in that language. Don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started. Listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/today. That's 50% off unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 50% off at rosettastone.com/today.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.